So about 3 years ago, I was in a very difficult situation because I had two family members that were seriously ill and were struggling with their illnesses. And I got a call from my daughter's high school principal. My daughter was around 17, 18 at that point in time. And he said that he thought she was suicidal and that we needed to take action right away. And I mean, it was such an unbelievable situation, and we felt like we got hit by a train. We didn't expect it. We knew she had been struggling with her diabetes. She was rowing at school, she was swimming at school, she was applying to colleges. I mean, we really thought things were going well, and then just out of the blue got hit with this. Overwhelmed, I mean, frightened, guilty, felt like really had failed my daughter and I hadn't adequately been there for her. And then, as the days and the weeks went on and we were struggling to find appropriate care for her and having to stay up nights, just listening to every sound in the house to make sure she was okay. And then, in and out of emergency rooms over, days on end and struggling to find her the appropriate residential care. I mean, we felt desperate, just absolutely desperate. Well, I think there were a number of things. I started to realize that I had to make some kind of changes when my mind was just constantly racing. I couldn't quiet my mind down. I couldn't sleep at nighttime. I was losing it over just stupid, silly little things. And then I think what really made the point clear to me was I was starting to get serious attacks of vertigo. And I knew that my health was deteriorating. And then I had just a scary experience where I was literally driving home. I was in my neighborhood, and all of a sudden I couldn't figure out how to get to my house because I was so overtired and I was so distracted. Well, as I look back, I think there were a few important things that I did that helped me with this whole process. The first one was I started to pay more attention to my body. And I realized that I was getting these horrible adrenaline rushes that just made me feel very desperate and out of control. And I found that when I did some kind of strenuous activity or some exercise, that I could kind of dissipate some of that adrenaline and the anger and everything that I was feeling. And so I did all kinds of things. And I mean, it was really hard in the beginning. I had to force myself because I felt like I was exhausted. But sometimes I'd run, sometimes I'd take a walk, sometimes I'd go out and shovel snow, or I'd dig in the garden, or I'd smash squash balls. I mean, it was whatever I could do at the moment is pretty much what I did. And then the other thing I did, which was incredibly helpful, is I joined the parent support group at McLean Hospital. And it was really the first time that I had hope. I was surrounded by parents and I was surrounded by professionals who really understood what I was going through. And they introduced us to all kinds of simple tools that were really helpful. I mean, they introduced me to mindfulness. So things like every day finding something that you're really grateful for. Or they introduced me to a breathing exercise, which was like a lifesaver. And it was a 2-minute deep stomach breathing exercise, and I did it everywhere. I did it when I sat in traffic. I did it when I was waiting for doctors. I did it before and after family counseling. I did it, when the repairman didn't show up on time. I mean, you name it, I did it all the time, and it was really important to me. I think it made me much more effective in dealing with all the medical professionals I had to deal with, and dealing with my daughter, and with coping with whatever came about on a daily basis. I was more balanced. I felt less angry. I started to feel healthier, and I honestly hadn't felt healthy in a very, very long time. And my daughter is doing really well now. And I continue to do these things. I continue to do the deep breathing whenever something comes up on a daily or weekly basis. And I feel more in control and more empowered. thanks to just these small little things that before I guess I never recognized were as important as they were.